Hey guys, A&A here. Today I will be discussing my personal top 8 amusement parks in California. For reference, the only parks I have not visited in the respective state is Sesame San Diego. This list will not include water parks either, unfortunately. I'll try to keep each description of the park brief. Lastly, this is all my opinion, so don't take this list as fact. So let's get into it. Starting the list at number 8 is Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is a great park, don't get me wrong, but it's at the bottom of this list because it doesn't have the quality of the parks ahead of it. Their best attraction is their RMC conversion of Roar into the Joker. This is an underrated RMC that has some deceptively powerful airtime and good hang time. And the supporting cast of attraction is decent as well, with one of the better B&M floorless coasters in Medusa, their premier ride Skyrocket 2 and Superman the Ride, and their SNS free spin in Batman the Ride. There are good choices for families with Sidewinder Safari and Cobra, and a kiddie coaster in Roadrunner Express. There are also a few coasters to watch out for though, including their Vekoma Boomerang and Kong, the Vekoma SLC. These will beat you up good. I have not ridden the Flash unfortunately, as it was closed during my only visit. They have a notable collection of flat rides, but I cannot speak on their quality, as I have not ridden any. I would expect Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth to be the standout though, as I have heard from others. The food offerings are average at best. The pizza was really greasy and had similar quality to school cafeteria food, but the Caesar salad was pretty good. The offerings for kids are decent, as they have a sizable area for kids in Looney Tunes Seaport with plenty of rides for young ages, but what this park has over some other Six Flags parks is the animal exhibits and shows. In particular, they had some tigers and snakes over by Sidewinder Safari and some dolphin shows. This park is also more shaded and lush with landscaping than the other Six Flags parks I've visited. So, in short, this is a flawed park that needs some more quality. It has a lot of potential though. Number 7 is SeaWorld San Diego. This is a huge jump in quality. To start with this park's strong points, this is a beautiful park. There is lush landscaping everywhere, and most of the rides have fresh coats of paint. The food is also decent, and to highlight one restaurant in particular is Manta Pizza. It might look expensive, but the slice I got was massive and was high quality. The main draw for many people though is the amazing animal shows. This might just be the best park in California for animal exhibits and shows, but this park isn't perfect in every category. Their coaster and flat ride lineup is minimal. As a standout coaster, they have Manta, which is a severely underrated mock launch coaster. They also have a B&M Dive in Emperor and a premier ride Skyrocket 2 and Electric Eel. For families, there is a mock water coaster in Journey to Atlantis, which is basically the Orlando version with an extender coaster section replacing the dark ride segment, and their new for 2023 Intamin Family Straddle coaster in Arctic Rescue. What to watch out for though is Tidal Twister. It was closed in my most recent visit, but I've heard no good things from this ride. For flat rides, the offerings are severely limited for adults. Pretty much all of them are for younger guests. I could see an SNS Screamin' Swing fit nicely here, like what they did at their Busch Gardens parks in Tampa and Williamsburg. For water rides, you only have an Intamin Rapids ride in Shipwreck Rapids, and the aforementioned Journey to Atlantis. In conclusion, SeaWorld has the quality, but needs a bit more quantity to be a bucket list park that it can be. Number 6 is the wonderful Knott's Berry Farm. This is my most visited park by far, with 20 visits total. I have honestly just one problem with this park, and that is the lines and crowd levels. This park seems to get slammed every day I go, but other than that, this park checks all of the boxes. There is wonderful theming everywhere, including the famous ghost town that opened in 1952. The food is above average with all their boysenberry food offerings, especially with the Boysenberry Festival. Speaking of festivals, there are plenty of seasonal events that change the entire park, including the famous Knott's Scary Farm that I need to visit sometime, and Knott's Merry Farm with plenty of shows and Christmas decorations everywhere. Speaking of shows too, there are plenty of shows and concerts year-round. The staff are above average and are very friendly. This park also has a wonderful coaster collection. There are 3 standouts being the CCI wooden coaster and Ghost Rider, which is long, relentless, and smooth after the recent GCI retrack, an Intamin hydraulic launch coaster and accelerator, which has a launch that will leave your soul in the dust, and a unique and underrated B&M invert in Silver Bullet. You have an abundance of offerings for families, including a Zamperla motorbike coaster in Pony Express, Jaguar, their Zero family coaster, Sierra Sidewinder, their Mark Spinner, and they have a coaster for kids that are just starting in Timberline Twister. For enthusiasts, I'm not sure if you can get this credit. You might need a kid to ride with you, but don't be creepy about it. For flat rides, you have a few sprinkled about, with most for kids. There are 2 standouts in La Revolution and Soul Spin. In conclusion, Knott's is the most well-rounded park in California, and I'm still hoping they get that B&M Giga. Number 5 is Universal Studios Hollywood. This is an amazing park with great theming and an endless series of screen rides. This is a dark ride heaven. and most of them use their IPs well and tell great stories. The best dark ride at Universal is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. You also have Transformers, Minion Mayhem, The Simpsons, The Secret Life of Pets, and their newest dark ride, Bowser's Challenge in Super Nintendo World. There's also the world-famous studio tour that my family always makes time to experience every visit. Seeing the sets and effects is delightful. It really feels like you are in a movie. There are also 4 shows: Kung Fu Panda, Animal Actors, Waterworld, and the Special Effects Show. As of 2022 though, Animal Actors and the Special Effects Show are closed for future expansion. For water rides, there is only Jurassic World the ride, but in Super Silly Funland, there are a few water slides and other play structures for younger guests. This park has world-class seasonal events including Halloween Horror Nights, which might just be the best Halloween event in the world, and during Christmas many areas are transformed into places from the Grinch. For coasters though, there's pretty much nothing. You have an underwhelming Premier Rides launch coaster in Revenge of the Mummy, and a Vekoma Junior coaster in the Flight of Hippogriff. I think this is the biggest drawback with Universal. It seems like this park only gets dark rides while the parks in Orlando are getting massive thrill machines like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket and Velocicoaster. I hope that changes with the addition of that leaked Fast and Furious coaster. And one of the most frustrating parts of the park is the layout. This might be the worst layout of any park. There's the upper lot and the lower lot, but to get between the two, you have to take these extremely long escalators down and up. It takes 10 minutes to get from lot to lot. Still though, this is one of the best parks in California for pure screen rides and experiences, and the setting atop a massive mountain gives some great views of Hollywood and the surrounding mountains. Number 4 is California Great America. I have a soft spot for this park. Even though everything at this park might seem mediocre, it has so much quality everywhere. First, the coasters. Their top 2 is one of the best of any park. You have Railblazer, which is a fast and furious intensity machine that tries to rip your face off, and Gold Striker, which is possibly one of the best GCIs in the world. And there's also a decent supporting cast as well, with Patriot, a B&M floorless conversion, Flight Deck, a classic B&M invert with a legendary finale, Demon, an aero looper, and the wooden coaster that shall not be named. For kids, there are plenty of coasters and other flats in Camp Snoopy, including Woodstock Express, which actually has decent laterals, and Lucy's Krabby Cabbies. You do have to ride with a child to get the ladder though. There is also Psycho Mouse and Aero Wild Mouse with decent laterals and projected airtime. For flat rides, you have 3 for adults, including Delirium, a Chance Rise Revolution, Drop Tower, an Intamin Drop Tower, and Orbit, a Schwarzkopf Enterprise. For food, I'd say it's average for a Cedar Fair park, but you have some familiar offerings including Panda Express and Subway. The staff here are friendly, and you might see some coaster enthusiasts working the rides as well. In conclusion, it is really sad that California's Great America might be gone in 10 or less years, because this is a really great park. Number 3 is Disney's California Adventure. This park has great rides, great food, and great staff. It's everything you would want in a park, except that they have no extreme thrill rides or coasters. But that's fine, as like Universal, Disney is going for the overall experience. But to Disney I say, if you want us to have an experience, the only thing I'm thinking is how empty my wallet is and why there are so many people here. I digress. For coasters, there is only one in an Incredicoaster. This Intamin LAM coaster is the only coaster that goes upside down in the entire resort. It has some decent airtime, but is light on the positives and laterals, which is fine because it's supposed to be a borderline family coaster. It's also really long and has some good theming along the course. There's also Goofy's Sky School, which has decent laterals and airtime. It has some nice facades. For dark rides, there is the new for 2022 Web Slingers, which is a genuine workout, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which might just be the best dark ride drop tower hybrid, Radiator Springs Racers, which might flat out just have the best animatronics of any dark ride, Toy Story Midway Mania, one of the best shooting dark rides, and Soarin' Around the World, which is one of the best flying theaters. If there are any dark rides I missed, I probably didn't ride it during my visit. For flat rides, there is plenty for kids and adults to do, but I have not ridden many of them. I like to focus my rides on Incredicoaster and Guardians. There are also countless meets and greets with recognizable characters from Disney franchises. Like I already mentioned, the food here is amazing but pricey. You also have the great staff and service like you would expect from a Disney park. So in conclusion, Disney's California Adventure is one of the best parks in the world for families. And it's an expensive park focusing on experiences and having the best day possible, and they succeed in that factor. Number 2 is Six Flags Magic Mountain. This legendary park is a must for coaster enthusiasts. You have so much quantity and quality sprinkled about. Just to name the top 6, you have the dueling Mobius Loop RMC Hybrid Twisted Colossus, which is the best coaster in California. Your Aero 4th Dimension coaster in X2, the most insane balls-to-the-walls coaster in the entire country. Wonder Woman Flight of Courage, the RMC Raptor that is better than its clone Great Adventure. West Coast Racers, another Mobius Loop Premier Rides launch coaster with great hang time and positives, Apocalypse, which is one of the better GCIs, and how could I forget Tatsu, the legendary beast of a B&M Flyer, which has the greatest setting of any coaster in California, and literally tries to rip your very soul out during that pretzel loop. You then have a few mid-coasters around, like the Riddler's Revenge, Scream, Goliath, Revolution, Viper, Ninja, Superman, Full Throttle, and Batman the Ride. Jeez, that's a lot of coasters. For adult flats, there is Crazanity as Amperla Giant Frisbee, an Intamin Drop Tower, and Lex Luthor Drop of Doom, one of the tallest drop towers in the world. For water rides, there is Jetstream, a classic Aero Flume ride in Roaring Rapids, which has been closed for who knows how long. There's also Justice League Battle for Metropolis, which is actually a decent shooting dark ride. For kids, there are 5 kiddie coasters if you include Gold Rusher, and there are dozens of flats scattered around the park. This is one of the best parks for kids wanting to get into coasters. For food, I cannot speak on the quality though, as I have only eaten outside the park, or just got fries and water at Johnny Rockets. The said fries are pretty good though. The staff, unfortunately, are kinda sad. They aren't very friendly and don't seem to enjoy their job. The operations on the coasters are average though, so that's one thing they're doing okay on. In conclusion, Six Flags Magic Mountain is all about the world-class coasters, so if that's your thing, come here for the coasters, and pretty much just the coasters. And the number 1 park in California is Legoland, California. Yeah, who am I kidding? It's Disneyland. This might objectively be the best park in the entire world. You have classic dark rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, Rise of the Resistance, The Haunted Mansion, and Indiana Jones, which are some of the greatest and most iconic dark rides in the world. You also have It's a Small World, Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Star Tours, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and many more. You have 3 elaborate themed coasters in this famous Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and the coaster that pioneered steel tubular track, Matterhorn Bobsleds. For water rides, there is a legendary Splash Mountain, which might just be the most soaking water ride in the world. After one front row ride, my hoodie was so soaked I had to wring out all the water. It is pretty sad that it's closing though. For food, staff, and overall cleanliness, it is the same as California Adventure. It is impossible to not have a good day here. So, in conclusion, Disneyland is objectively the best park in California. There's no way you can put any park in California over this. I don't think anything will beat the excitement you get going to Disney. It's just such a legendary experience, nothing can top. So, that's my personal top 8 parks in California. This video took ages to make, so I'd appreciate all of you who made it this far. It's probably why I haven't uploaded in a decent while. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments section, whether you read it or not. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.